All right, what up? Happy Friday. It's Mr. Adams, um, coming to you from the basement. Not the basement, the bunker. Um, I just got out of swim practice, and it was hard today. 4 days in a row. Woo, woo, woo. So I am super tired and kind of like woozy, and I need to eat and stuff. But cranking this out first. Okay, so sometimes on Fridays, I will give you other stuff that is not what we've been doing the rest of the week. Sometimes we'll do robots in the news and kind of stuff like that. Like, are they coming for your jobs? But since Thursday, I was like, oh, I want to do this one thing, and I couldn't figure. Or I tried real quick, and I bailed quickly because it took me about 10 seconds worth of Googling to find the right answer. So today we're going to learn serial input. So we're going to go grab our good old friend Arduino. Start with a brand new crisp board here, okay? So that way, because you're going to go back and use the other board in a second. All right. Okay. So we're going to move this over. Boom. Okay. And then I'm not going to put a breadboard or anything today because we're just going to use pin 13. So we can go ahead, look at the code. Yes, I'm cool with that. Okay. And if I start the simulation, remember this will blink right here. We could even zoom in a little bit. All right. So that's what we're going to worry about for this. Okay. So today, and then here, make it easier for you guys to read. Okay. Oh my gosh. Every time. Okay. You got to stop simulation. All right. We're going to, and every time I also do that, comment. This one we probably could have done the double slash, but it is a good habit to get into. Today we're going to go with serial input. All right. Okay. So now serial input is going to require a variable. So this might be the first time that we have made a variable. So we are going to make a variable up here at the top, and you have to tell what type it's going to be. All right. Once again, Arduino's like your mom. You got to let her know everything. Okay. So, hey, there's a variable coming. It's an input. So you better not have peanut butter in the house. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Because inputs are allergic to peanut butter or integers. Ugh. Integers is literally just peanut butter. So let's call this input. That's why we might want to avoid input. Let's just call it in. There we go. All right. And then we should do what's called initialize it and give it a value first, because Arduino, once again, it wants to know everything that's coming. It's going to be much happier, because if you're like, hey, someone's coming, I don't know. That's no good. Okay. So this is new, and then we'll put a comment after it. Make a variable of type integer. All right. Once again, if you are a seasoned pro, and there's a couple of you are like, yeah, I've done this a bunch. I'm way too cool. It's a great habit to get into. You're going to go to college, and they're going to ask you to comment everything. And when you get a real job, if you don't comment, then they're like, well, what did you do here? So really, I think the higher up you go in programming, the more important comments get. So doing the super simple ones just to get in the habit of doing it is super valuable. Okay, so putting those in there, it's good. Mr. Adams should be like a super jerk about it. Probably won't be, but put the comments in there. Okay, especially if you're like, oh, I'm too cool for comments. Put them in. All right. Okay, so now we have our output. Underneath our output, we're going to say serial begin, and then 9600. Okay. If we use it every day, you don't have to make a comment about it. I don't know. Maybe we should. Just put open ports 960. Okay. All right. Okay. Now here we're gonna say if this. Actually, there's two ways you can do this. But we're gonna do it this way. So if serial dot available, and oops, got to make sure you spell available right. Available, and then you need to make sure you put those brackets in there. If you don't put the brackets in, It doesn't work. This is called a method, and it wants to be sent something, but it's not sending something. So this kind of tells me, hey, I'm a method. Okay, the dot does too. Like, I think you could argue that you don't need to put those in there, but I didn't invent this, so that's what you have to do. Okay, if dot available is greater than 0, and we'll go on that later. If you are coming from the world of another programming language, some of the stuff's a little weird because it's kind of a Boolean, but kind of not, and it does a 1 or a 0. So really, we could do if serial.available is equal to 1. But this is like this part straight up from the Arduino website. So and then we're going to squiggle bracket, come down here, squiggle bracket. All right. Okay. So if serial.available, we're going to say in equals, or we better do this first. We better do serial print, or print ln. It's an L. We'll just go how many times. All right. And then we say in is equal to serial dot parse int, and then some brackets. Okay. Once again, this is a little different. Parse int means turn whatever gets put in here into an integer, which gets a little weird. You could try typing in a letter and seeing what happens, because I'm not sure what it would do. Okay. All right. So now we have this. We put it in there. Okay. And then now we will do serial dot print, or we're going to do L, or just print no L, ln, and you'll see why in a second here. I will blink. Oh well, we'll just do this. Blink n times any times my colon quote end brackets. All right, I'll blink this many times, and then we will go serial print ln. And now we will do in. Okay. All right. So what we have done is if the serial is available, and it's super important that you close the squiggle bracket. So if your code does not work, double check that you put in the squiggle brackets. Okay. So the squiggle brackets need the squiggle brackets. In fact, maybe above if we should do check to see if serial exists. Right? Okay. If it does, we're going to ask you how many times. It's going to take in a number and turn that into an integer. Okay. Notice that we told it up here, the computer, hey, we want an integer. All right. We want an integer. We're going to put it in here, and we're going to tell us how many times to blink. All right. Now, unfortunately, we no, I'll just type it in a second. We're going to ignore this part for right now. And then spoiler alert, I'm going to have you do this with the other one and put that in there. Okay, does that make sense? Hopefully it does. I'll explain it better in a second. Oh, okay. All right. Let's just do this anyway first. It is super also important to always check a lot and then see, because actually, to be honest, I haven't tried this at all. So we will see how this works. We're going to start the simulation. Well, I tried it yesterday. I don't know what I'm saying there. Okay. So notice the serial monitors doesn't work. Boom. Show that. And then it should ask us. Where is the ask? Let's clear. I don't know. Let's type in 5. Oh. Okay. I will blink this many times. That's annoying. Okay. All right. So anyway, do you guys see the blinks? Okay. All right. So you see how I basically have to, like, it doesn't print it right away, which I don't know. That could be an Arduino thing too. So we're going to go ahead and stop the simulation, and we'll just take out the how many times. And I will double check. We'll just take that out right now. Okay, so take out that question, run it, type in 8, boom. I will blink this many times, 8. Okay, so notice the serial print, I will blink this many times, and then the 8 goes right there. Print just prints it, print ln, prints it, and then moves you down to the next line. Okay, so it's kind of weird that you think about, well, I want the what am I going to do with the next line? So the print ln says do a line all by yourself and you turn it to the next line. Print says print, and then whatever comes next, print that as well. Okay, so I could have done this in one line, and we'll talk about that later. So I will blink this many times, 8. All right, so now what I want you to do is I want you to use the other code, and I want you to make it blink 8 times. Okay, now hopefully you can go. So that's why I wanted you to do a brand new crispy clean code here. Oh, before we start, you know what? Let's go ahead and delete this, delete this, okay? Go ahead, we're gonna put just this in your notebook, okay? So just this, copy just this, and then, you know what? Since this is for prosperity, put that in there. So copy, paste that in your Google Notebook there of codes, because we're going to use the serial input another time. And so, yeah. All right, so we're going to make that in there, go, okay? Gonna do that. Good, okay? Then after you put that in your notebook, go open up the old code, all right, for the blink. Well, let me give you a big hint here, right? I said I will blink. This is a variable, right, that tells me how many times to blink, okay? When I go back to my old code here, all right, if I look at my old code, this number right here tells me how many times to blink, right? So this blinks 3 times, this blinks 2 times, okay? So I'm going to put a serial monitor in this code. You can go ahead and use this code. Put the serial monitor in there, and above this all, I'm going to take in how many times to blink, and then I'm going to change these numbers. So instead of using numbers, I'm going to use a variable, yes. So what am I going to have to put up top here? Yes, a variable again. All right. Okay, so I'm going to take what we did in the other code. I'm going to put it in this code, and then I'm going to be able to blink. I will show you what I want here in 2 seconds here. So hold on. All right, so you can only use a serial monitor if you show the code, and clearly the code is what I want to see you do all by your lonesome. So I typed in 4, and now this blinks 4 times, and this blinks 4 times. Okay, I'll give you a hint. I added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines of code, which were identical to the lines of code previous in this video. So you could just rewatch this video and type those lines of code again. Hopefully you have a Google Doc that has those lines of codes, and you can just copy and paste. Okay, I changed 2 numbers to a variable. So I changed 2 lines of code. So I added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines, add 6, change 2, and it should work good. Okay. So give me a screenshot of the code. That is what I want you to do. Alrighty. Okay. Bye.